The Utah Jazz are firing on all cylinders. They kept their hot streak going against the Indiana Pacers in a 132-105 blowout win on Monday night. The Jazz are playing like the best team in the league right now. They have the longest current winning streak in the NBA at 6 games, which includes winning 3 straight against the 76ers, Bucks, and Nuggets. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. They're 12-2 in their last 14 games. And 15-4 in their past 19 games. This is a remarkable turnaround for a team that started the season 7-16. Now, the Jazz continue to win games and continue to climb up the Western Conference standings. What's going on, everyone? It is Luca here, back with another video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about the Utah Jazz once again and their recent hot play. If y'all can do me a favor, please hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Jazz and NBA content just like this. Lauri Markkanen and Collin Sexton combined for 62 points in the Jazz latest win. Markkanen had 32 points on 10 of 15 shooting, 10 rebounds. Sexton had 30 points, which was a season high for him, 4 3-pointers made, and 5 assists. Since Markkanen returned from injury and Sexton moved to the starting lineup on December 13th, it's like everything has changed for this Jazz team. Collin Sexton deserves a lot of credit for his play during this run. The Jazz record with Collin Sexton starting is 15-4, and he has averaged 22 points and 5 assists as a starter this season. Sexton as a starter has done wonders for this Jazz team. And then how about Lauri Markkanen's play? He looks like he's about to make his second straight All-Star game. Rick Carlisle spoke at the podium comparing Markkanen to Mavs legend Dirk Nowitzki, saying he's the closest thing I've seen to Nowitzki in terms of a 7-footer that can really stretch the game out and play inside. It's extremely high praise for Markkanen considering Nowitzki had a Hall of Fame career. And you look at Nowitzki, I mean, he did spend 11 seasons under Carlisle, so for Carlisle to say that, it means a whole ton. Markkanen had an incredible performance in front of Carlisle and the Pacers on Monday night. He posted a game-high 32 points, had 10 rebounds, 3 assists, while shooting it an outstanding 66.7, 50, and 100% clip. Markkanen has been a huge piece during the Jazz turnaround, and he is looking like a true cornerstone for this franchise. I mean, you look at Markkanen's game, he can score from all 3 levels of the floor, and then he combines that with his strong rim protection, his great length, and rebounding ability, which makes him hard to contain. And the Jazz, they're not trading him away. There's no way. I know there was a report, and I did speculate this in my last Jazz video, that the Jazz would listen to offers on anyone on the roster, but with the way the Jazz are clicking right now, and with the way Markkanen has been playing, and then there has been a recent report from Sam Vincini of The Athletic, he says Markkanen is not expected to be moved during the deadline, and this makes complete sense. The Jazz have to keep things as is, especially with the way they're clicking. And I mean, this squad continues to get better with Markkanen flourishing, so why would they move him at this point? The Jazz are competing, and this is a team you simply can't ignore. I called this team dangerously good in the offseason after they acquired John Collins, and people thought it was crazy. But so far, through the first part of 2024, it's already looking like that is the case. This Jazz team has emerged as a team that expects to win each and every night while beating solid teams in the process and protecting home court. They are quietly becoming one of the best home court teams in all of the NBA, as the Jazz are 15-5 at home this season. The Jazz have so many good pieces. This team can be a nightmare to deal with offensively. They just keep coming with buckets. And we saw it again in the Pacers game. They shot it incredibly from all different angles on the court. They almost posted 50, 40, 90 splits on the night in the process. And all in all, they shot at 55.6% from the floor, 44% from deep, and 88.6% from the line. And you look at the Jazz in 2024, they're second in offense and 8th in defense. So they've been turning it up a notch on both ends, especially their offense, which has just been absolutely blistering. And I gotta say, I gotta give a lot of credit to Keyonte George. I mean, I've liked what I've seen from this kid. He has been solid for the Jazz already. His future is bright. He had 19 points, 5 assists, and he shot at 6 of 11 from the field. So you got a good one in George, Jazz fans. So you look at the Jazz, I mean, with their most recent win, they keep making things interesting in this Western Conference. I mean, the Jazz now sit at 22-20 for the season, and they're just a half game back from the 8th seeded Phoenix Suns. Like, who would have thought the Jazz would be ahead of the likes of the Warriors, Lakers, and now potentially even the Phoenix Suns? And don't look now, but the Jazz are only 2.5 games back of the 5th seed. So it's absolutely crazy what this team has been able to do. And it looked like this Jazz team, they were going to be headed for another lottery selection, but this team has done a complete 180 and they're looking to win now. Remember, the Jazz were supposed to be in their rebuild, but this is a team that they're winning games and they are just in such a great position because they have a solid team as is that is obviously flourishing. They got one of the best coaches who so happens to be one of the youngest as well, and they got a bunch of draft capital in their pocket. So you got to just give a lot of credit to Danny Ainge and this front office with the way they handled this whole Jazz situation, just going back to the trades, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and then just putting this team in a great position where they're actually good enough to win now and their future is just extremely bright. I mean, you can make an argument that outside of OKC, this Jazz team has the current best position in all of the NBA. So the Jazz, they have been fun to watch. They continue to get it done and they continue to rack up these wins. And I know the Pacers were shorthanded and missing a ton of guys, but you go through this win streak and just look at some of the teams the Jazz have beaten, you know, going back to that 3-game-in-a-row gauntlet that they obviously won. They beat the New Look Raptors, who have been doing a lot of good things. They beat the Lakers, and obviously the Lakers, I know they've been a mess, but that team usually shows up against good teams. So they're looking to just continue their winning ways, and, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this Jazz team plays in their next two because they got the Warriors, they're obviously reeling, and then they got the Thunder, and I just said the Jazz are up there with the Thunder when it comes to just being in the most perfect situation with their franchise. That's going to be an amazing game. Thursday, Thunder Jazz. Boy, oh boy, is that going to be a spectacle. But this Jazz team, feel good story. It's been fun seeing what they've been able to do. We all thought the Jazz were fun last season. Man, they look even more fun this season. And it looks like they're, in fact, legit with what they've been able to do. And I think this team can sustain this and maintain it. So we will see how the Jazz continue to look. Let me know what your thoughts have been on this team, Jazz fans, and what has your reaction been to their latest incredible run. This team has definitely been one of the hottest teams in the league, playing some very, very good basketball right now. So let me know your thoughts. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. That is it for me. It's Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next video.